Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope everybody had a good holiday, um, and everybody's ready to get back to it here. I do my little videos here and try to come up with a topic. So, in my case, as a teacher instructor, I have observations of students over the years. So I notice the habits, the work ethics, A students versus Z students, and um, and especially in the MBA program, I have an opinion, which nobody's actually proved my opinion wrong yet, is that all the students in the MBA program are A students. Where the problem comes in is achieving the A results, and that's usually based on uh, students not putting the required time in. You're required to put 10, 20 hours a week in for a course, and that's just a reality. If you're not doing that, then it's not a question of you don't understand material. It's a question of you're not putting the time in to learn the material. And I always use the equation of doing push-ups. You can't just get down and do 100 push-ups. But over a 4-week period, if you did push-up exercises every day, by the end of that 4 weeks, you'd be able to do the 100 push-ups. So that's just my example. So anyway, so my point is, it's time for a change. If this relates to you, or you can share this, with somebody that works for you or something. But you don't have to wait for New Year's for the change. And we can always do it, anytime. And when I talk about change, there's an old way of doing things, there's a new way of doing things. Um, you know, um, there's this, someone came up with this little thing about changing a letter in here from change to chance. You can make changes in your life, or you can just take a chance on where you end up and what you do, and hope for the best. So I mean, that's my point. You always have this opportunity to make change in your lives, not just with school. My other observation is, the way we work in a school environment, like at a graduate level, is the way we work in our professional and personal environment. So that's a little self-evaluation thing you need to look at. You can keep doing things the way you've been doing them, um, and again, this is if this applies to you, or you can, change your life, change the habits in your life, the results you get. Don't settle for what you've been getting. Uh, go for what you're capable of getting. Different people have different skill sets. But and you always hear in the movies and different things, oh, go for your dreams. Well, that's true. Sometimes people don't um, utilize or dig down and actually do what they're capable of. They just kind of settle, fall into these routines or these bad habits. So, you deserve more than the bad habits. Um, there's this saying here about doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's insanity. And it is, because if you're, as a student or in your professional life or whatever, doing the same things, but you're not getting what you want, in the MBA program, if you're not getting an A or a high B in courses, then you're doing something wrong. Um, it's that simple. So you need to evaluate yourself and figure out what you're doing wrong and what you need to do to change that. Um, I use an example. After I got out of the Army, I worked for Domino's Pizza at corporate. I used to run, corporate stores out in Seattle. So I had 15 stores, but within a couple of months, I put together a spreadsheet, because the expectations, and it wasn't just with Domino's, like for regional managers. I mean, this is in a lot of businesses. I got this 40-hour work week here, but it has 90 hours of requirements. There's a lot of places that operate like that, and they shouldn't. And in my case, I brought it up. I said, us regional managers, we all got like 15 stores each. And one of your requirements is to go visit these stores 3 or 4 times a week. Well, the drive time alone, just getting to each of these stores in one day, over a week, is 40 hours, and then of course there's this 20, 30 hours of administrative stuff. You spend time in a store, you spend an hour in each store. Um, how do you spend an hour a day in each store if you got 15 stores? There's things like that. So, my point here is just equating that in your personal life. You got so many hours available in a life. Um, all of you have seen that Arnold Schwarzenegger video I've showed once in a while where he says, 6 hours of sleep, and people say, well, I need 8. He says, well, no, just sleep faster. Thing is, you got so many hours that, subtract your sleep time, be it 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever, then you got that 16 hours left in your day. What do you have to do? And do you have enough time to do it? Do you have the 10, 20 hours a week for a course? So that's my point, is I'm just equating that to, you got to figure out what you're doing wrong and how you can change it. You deserve not to struggle. Uh, don't wait, make some changes. So stop struggling with your life by trying to do things that maybe you don't have enough time for, or you're just approaching it wrong. And just make these changes now. So, yep, make the changes. So that's my point this week. Let me get out of here real quick. Let's get in here. So this global leadership. All right. So it's pretty much the same. Also, make sure you review the welcome letters that I send out, because it does review grading. I just don't want nobody to ever be surprised if they see a 0 or something, or they see a low score, 5 points on a discussion. Make sure because this is the same policy it's been for several years. So I mean, just make sure you are aware of that, so you're not surprised. But into the course here, so you got the presentations every week. This week you're going to have globalizing business, politics, law, economics, cultures, ethics, resources, capabilities. So all these things interrelate. And, one of the things, again, we are in a global environment anymore. It's not like 50, 100 years ago. So where it's regional, it's national. The economy today is global, and the world economy, it depends on each other. A lot of us have heard about the China trade war thing. China, just like the United States, they depend on each other. And unfortunately, that's the economy today. That's the world economy. If all of a sudden everybody stopped trading with the U.S., the U.S. economy would implode. That's just economics. And I mentioned that in the other course. I'm teaching the economics course in the undergrad this time, but so that's why I just remembered that. But we just have to. Oops, I lost my place. Pay attention to the global economy and all the things that interrelate to it. And that's one of the reasons it's important for this class, because if you're going to be MBA, you're basically going to be running some sort of a business, regardless of what industry it's in, but everything's going to be interrelated as far as the global economy goes and what you need to know about that. Okay, so got the discussions. You got a project, which is your community resource interview. So make sure you read this. You need to let me know within the first week or two who you're going to be interviewing and their contact information. All right. Oops. Get back there. And then you're going to have 2 assignments every week. You got current event and a journal entry. All right. So just make sure you're, staying up on that. And the journal entry is basically what you learned in the chapters. All right. And then the current event is current. And when we say current, we're not talking about 10 years ago. Okay, current, like what's going on this year or last year, or even this week. All right, relating to global, globalization, international business type stuff. All right, and then you got a quiz every week, and so that's pretty much the same layout every week. And then you got a paper at the end. All right, so this is a paper, so you can be working on this. So all the information is right here. Identify. Corporation. And if you got any questions, just let me know. So, all right. And a test question this week is there is no test question. So that's the answer when you reply to the video here in the discussion. All right. So other than that, I'll let you go. Again, same as always, I'm available 7 days a week. If you got a question or anything, just get in touch. And that should do it. So, all right, everybody. Have a great week. And I will... We'll see you next time. Take care.